So I discovered the Path of Exile 2 trading website like a day ago, and I've been having fun shopping for my gears. The build I have still got cast on Shock as one of its main damage dealer alongside Lightning Spear, and I also managed to make myself tanky enough that I can actually let enemies swarm and not instantly die in 0.1 second. I also build around the life recoup effects. Due to my ascendancy being mainly spec'd into survivability, Rapid River, which makes your recoup effects proc 2 times faster, and the other one slows everything around you, which really helps with burst damages. Although I'm still missing 2 or 4 ascendancy points, which I don't really want to do, because the Trial of Sakema is so cringe and tedious that I think I'll just skip it. The build doesn't really require any annoying setup, and it's pretty straightforward. You pretty much just throw a bunch of lightning spears at your enemies. Stormlance, Barrage, and Voltaic Mark are also optional. And when you face some weird tanky stuff, you can just put down your Mana Storm and continue chucking your spears. You also can't really one-shot things with this build because I built it so that it attacks really fast instead of burst damage. I mainly want to be able to charge up my cast on Shock as soon as possible for it to proc the lightning arc. So I would need to stack a lot of shock chance as well as skill speed or attack speed, whatever. I'm currently level 75, and the gears that I have are mostly bought for 1 Exalt or 1 Alchemy Orb per piece, and I managed to clear maps and bosses just fine with it, although it does take a little bit longer than other one-shot builds. I got this unique Sapphire Ring because I want more attack speed, and it also converts cold damage to lightning, so I can have added cold damage on my other gear pieces. Mana regeneration on it is also very crucial because you need it for the Mana Storm, and the same thing applies for other gear pieces. You'll need to get as much mana regeneration as possible. I got this unique helmet which gives me a ton of life in exchange for turning all my elemental resist into 0%, so I don't have to worry about building resist anymore. And then I pair that with this Corvus Mantle thing, which allows your life recoup effect to also apply on your shield. Meaning you can regenerate 2 life bars at once. The only downside with the recoup stuff though, is that it doesn't take damage over time into account, so you'll still have to be cautious when your enemies have corrupted blood or ignite. And it's even worse if there are some reduced life recovery modifiers on your maps, because your entire survivability in this build is through life recoup, which is technically a life recovery effect. I got this spear from Walmart yesterday, and I think it works just fine, although I do suggest using some runes that give you more shock chance, or increased physical damage instead of energy increase. Stoic Scepter is also super important because you want to stack not only life, but also energy shield, since life recoup also affects it. In general, just focus on getting more life and energy shield, and I think you should be able to survive most one-shots. So for Lightning Spear, I got Lightning Infusion and Primal Armament for more damage, and then Martial Tempo instead of Volt since I want to throw a lot of spears. I don't have enough currency at the moment to afford a greater jewel orb, but when I do, I would probably put Deliberation for that 20% damage multiplier. I got Stormlance as a debuff skill with lightning exposure and conduction, as well as Execrate on it so that it has more chance to shock in order to apply the exposure. I usually just use this on rares or bosses, or enemies with super high lightning resistance. Barrage is just there, and it's optional whether you want to use it or not. I personally use it sometimes against magic enemies, since they're slightly tankier. Voltaic Mark is also the same as Stormlance. I only use it on bosses so that I can stack my cast on Shock faster. And it also increases your shock magnitude, so you will technically get 10% more damage multiplier on your shock effect. Cast on Shock is your secondary DPS skill that you can proc just by throwing lightning spears. And I got Arc as my triggered spell since it has a relatively low cast time which allows you to charge it up faster. The energy support gems are also very crucial because you want to be able to cast it as often as possible instead of getting more damage. And to pair with my ascendancy passive, I have Blasphemy so that I can do 16% more lightning damage to enemies in close range. Trinity is also very important because it gives you more damage multiplier. Although I'm not sure how much multiplier it gives, but I know that it's a lot. And since I need to be close range anyway, I have Attrition to help me with single target damage. And I also don't have Herald of Thunder since it causes too much clutter on my screen, causing me to have a headache, you know? For my passive tree, I have quite a lot of attack speed nodes, as well as life recoup ones, especially the pliable flesh node, since you want your recoup to take effect as soon as possible, or you will die immediately. And And then these nodes on the top right are also super important, because it gives you not only more energy gained for your cast on shock, but it also gives your triggered spell a ton more damage. The additional lightning chain nodes are also close to sorceress, so it's pretty convenient, and helps me out a ton in clearing mobs. Overall, I'm enjoying this build so far, and it's kinda satisfying seeing the lightning arcs pulses when I proc cast on shock.